good, YouTube? It's your boy Stats with Evan, and I'm back with another one. And today, I'm going to be previewing the 4-game series between my Washington Nationals and the Philadelphia Phillies. Big rivalry series. Let's get it popping. Here's what you need to know about the two teams going into this series. The season series between the Nationals and the Phillies is all tied 4-4. Now, it's been about as close as a series as you can get, with both teams winning a series 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia and splitting one in DC. Now, for the season, the Nationals are outscoring the Phillies head-to-head by a count of 52-46. Now, these two teams have been trending in entirely different directions in the month of June. The Nats are 6-5 since the calendar turned to June. In fact, they've won 14 of their last 21 games. And that's right off the heels of a horrendous 19-31 start to the season. Now, the Phillies in June are 6-8. And the last time these two played up in Philadelphia, the Phillies took 2 out of 3 in the middle of May. With the Phillies, unfortunately, it wasn't a good series for the Nats bullpen, as the Phillies got the winning run off their bullpen in both the games that they won. Now, the last time they played in D.C., Bryce Harper played against the Nationals for the first time in his career, and as stated earlier, the Nats and Phillies split the series on April 2nd through the 3rd, with Philadelphia winning the first game 8-2, and the Nationals winning the second game 9-8 on a walk-off walk to Jake Noll, who is currently with the Nationals' AAA affiliate, the Fresno Grizzlies. As for why the Nats have a minor league team in Fresno, hey, the Giants play in San Francisco, California, and they have a minor league team in Richmond, Virginia. If they can make it work, so can we. Now let's take a look at the starters. So coming into this week, the Nationals are 33-38, the Phillies are 39-32. Washington is 4th in the NL East, Philadelphia is 2nd. There's a 6-game gap between the two. Now, this weekend, the Nationals split a 4-game series with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Phillies lost 2 out of 3 in Atlanta. Tonight, the Phillies are sending Jake Arrieta to the mound. Arrieta is 6-5 with a 4.31 ERA. In his last start, he went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, and he struck out 5 in a 7-4 win against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Get used to hearing that name. You'll hear it a lot in this video. Now, the Nats are countering tonight with Patrick Corbin. Corbin's 5-5 for the season with a 4.11 ERA, but he hasn't been too hot lately. In his last start, he only went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks. He struck out 5 and took the loss in a 7-5 loss in Chicago against the White Sox, and Corbin's lost his last 3 starts. Hopefully he can turn it around tonight, but we'll see. Tomorrow, the Phillies are sending out Zach Eflin. Eflin for the season is 6-6 with a 2.81 ERA, but his last start was the definition of a hard luck start. He went 8 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk. He struck out 9, but he went home with the loss as the Phillies lost to the D-backs 2-0. And now the Nationals are countering with their young star, Eric Fedde. Fedde for the season is 1-1 with a 3.58 ERA. In his last start, that also wasn't pretty. He gave up 6 hits over 6 innings, gave up 5 runs, 3 walks. He only struck out 1 as the Nationals lost to the Diamondbacks. Those same Diamondbacks, 5-0, and nearly got no hit. They didn't get their first hit until the 7th inning. Wednesday, the Phillies are sending out former Nationals farmhand Nick Pivetta. Pivetta for the season is 4-1 with a 500 ERA. In his last start, he went 6 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks. He struck out 6 and got a no decision as the Phillies lost 9-8 in Atlanta on a walk-off by Brian McCann. Now to counter, the Nationals are going with the dude on the back of this jersey. Y'all see it. Y'all see it. His name is Max Scherzer. Now Scherzer for the season is 5-5 with a 2.81 ERA. In his last start, he went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, struck out 10, and got the win as the Nationals beat the Diamondbacks 7-3. Scherzer has now won 3 starts in a row, and he's finally getting run support. That's something we've been looking for all season. In the series finale on Thursday, the Phillies are sending out their ace, Aaron Nola. Nola for the season is 6-1 with a 4.89 ERA. In his last start, it ain't go so well. He went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and he struck out just 1, got the no decision in a 6-5 Phillies win in Atlanta. Now the Nationals are countering with Steven Strasburg. Strasburg for the season is 7-4 with a 3.75 ERA. His last start ain't go so well either. 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, struck out 5, as the Nationals lost to the Diamondbacks 10-3. So both starters are going to be looking for a rebound. Now that we've discussed the starters, let's talk about how the Nationals can win this series. Now obviously, this series is going to come down to pitching. Both team starting rotations have proven that they can hold a lead very well, at least lately they have, but the bullpens this season have been known to be shaky, to say the least. And both bullpens are actually dealing with significant injuries at the moment. For the Nationals, Justin Miller is on the IL, and Kyle Barraclough just went to the IL. And for the Phillies, Seranthony Dominguez is a recent addition to their IL as well. Now, the last 3 innings are going to have a metric ton of weight on them for the next 4 days, and if the Nats are going to win this series, they're going to have to take advantage of a Phillies bullpen that just got done allowing 16 runs in a 3-game series in Atlanta. By the way, that's just over 5 runs a game for the full game, which they did not pitch. So that number is way higher than that, actually, for Philadelphia's bullpen over this past weekend. Now, that reminds me. Phillies, y'all lost in Atlanta? Can't relate. Nats are 2-0 in ATL this season. So, it is what it is, brother. I would go on, but that's above me. Now, back on topic. The Nationals are also going to have their bats come out on fire. And that's completely within range and within reason, seeing as how the Nationals have put up double-digit runs on the Phillies 3 times this season. And they're 3-0 when they do, by the way. So, yeah, the Nats are also going to need their bullpen to keep the same energy they've had for the last couple weeks, which has allowed the bullpen to boast one of the lowest bullpen ERAs in baseball for the month of June, which has led them to a 9-5 record in the month of June. So that's how the Nationals can win this series, but let's take a look at how the Phillies can win it. So here's how the Phillies can win this series. We talked about bullpens in the last segment as for how the Nationals can win this series. And speaking of bullpens, the last time these two met, the Phillies took advantage of a shaky Nats bullpen to take 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia, May 3rd through the 5th, scoring the winning run off the Nats pen in both games they won. Now, with the heavy-hitting offense boasting sluggers like obviously former National Bryce Harper, along with Rhys Hoskins, Odubel Herrera, JT Realmuto, and Jay Bruce, it's not hard to see the Phillies offense thriving in a hitter's ballpark like Nationals Park. Heck, the Diamondbacks just got done turning the park into home run heaven. Like, every other hit they had was a home run. It was ridiculous how far the ball was carrying. It's important for the Phillies to start fast, as the Nationals are a team that will give you some runs in the first inning before they settle down. It takes most of the pitchers a while to settle down, like an inning and a third or so. So the Nationals are among the bottom of the league when it comes to first inning defense. And in addition, the Nationals have been struggling in series openers this series. And add on to that, for this series opener tonight, they're sending out a pitcher in Patrick Corbin who's lost 3 in a row, and he's been rather shaky in the month of June. So this has all the potential for the Phillies to nab an all-important opener and get the series to Zach Eflin, who has beaten the Nats earlier this season, and their ace, Aaron Nola. So what's my overall thoughts on the series? Now here's my 2 cents on this series. This is an all-important series for both teams, as neither one can afford to let the red-hot Atlanta Braves get too much farther ahead of them in the NL East race. By the way, the Braves are in New York this week against the Mets. So, yeah, this is that much more important for both these teams. Now, additionally, this is the part of the season where you start turning an eye towards the wild card standings. Now, the Nationals have split the last 3 series, 4 in San Diego, 2 out of 4 in San Diego, 1 out of 2 against the White Sox, and 2 out of 4 against the Diamondbacks. So it's easy to just say they'll split again and call it a day. However, the Phillies have lost 2 series in a row. The Nationals have not actually lost a series since May 20th through the 24th when they got swept at Citi Field. So, you know what? I think I'll ride the hotter hand of the two and say the Nationals win 3 out of 4 in this series. So who do y'all think is going to win this series? The Nationals or the Phillies? Or are they going to split? Because it is a 4-game series. Let me know in the comments, and until next time, I'm Stats with Evan, and I hope y'all have a 100% day. See y'all later. Go Nats.